Hi guys, it's Grace, and today I wanted to film a little bit of a story time video for you about a rumour that was spread about me and somebody else based on the truth but very loosely, and was actually spread by somebody very close to me that I can't get away from, as I'm sure you'll understand as the story develops. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and let's get on with the story. Okay, so for the purpose of embarrassment from me and the people involved in this tale, I'll be changing the names, which I haven't thought of yet, but I'll come up with those as we go because professionalism is my true trait here. And yeah, so the names are fake, so that's all we need to know. So as I said, this rumour is loosely based on the truth, which is that me and this boy that I have been friends with for a long time, since year 10. Like, we'd been in the same class for some subjects, we got on, we had banter, a bit of flirting maybe, but nothing heavy. We were just friends, and that's all there was to it. And we were friends in our own right, but we saw each other more, hung out more, spoke more, because we had this mutual friend called Harry. And Harry was best friends with this boy, and I was best friends with Harry, so we sometimes hang out together or we talk about each other. And Harry, his name's not Harry, but you know who you are, I'm sure, Harry. I had quite a crush on Harry back in the days of probably year 11. I developed some feelings for Harry, and I didn't know how to tell him, and I used to speak to this boy, let's call him Marcus. I used to speak to Marcus about Harry, and Harry didn't know, I don't think, that we spoke as much as we did, but me and Marcus used to talk about Harry, and he'd always threaten to show Harry the messages that me and Marcus were having about Harry, and it was all a little bit of a triangle. In case you're confused, let's catch everybody up. So I was best friends with Harry, who I also had a crush on, and Harry was best friends with Marcus, and I used to speak to Marcus about Harry, and Marcus used to mock me about my feelings towards Harry, and Harry knew that we were friends but not that we spoke especially about him, and Marcus used to hang the messages over my head about what I said about Harry, and it was all very complicated, but we were all friends. There's no bad blood, wouldn't hang them over me and be like, oh, if you don't do that, it wasn't threatening, it was just funny. I'm a very difficult person to offend. I'm not offended easily. I find most things very funny. I can really take a joke, so it wouldn't have offended me. Anyway, that's basically all. This whole video is basically backstory, but we're going to say it anyway because it makes no sense without it. So in the December of year 12, we went to this party that one of my really close friends was having for her 17th birthday. It was in a barn outside near her house, or I think it was on the grounds of her house. I'm not really sure, but it was in the place where she lived. And we went, and Harry was there, Marcus was there, all of my friends were there, and it was really, really good. But I got very, very, very drunk. And I, at this point, actually did still have feelings for Harry, which I don't think he knows. So Harry, if you're watching, bit awkward, but that's how it is. So yeah, at this point, I did still have feelings for Harry, and I don't think he knew at that point about it. So I was speaking to Marcus a bit about Harry, but Harry got so drunk. Harry was absolutely out of it. He was literally asleep, dead in the corner by the fan, literally dying. And I was like, okay. Also, side note, I'm such a good friend. I was feeding Harry vodka in a water bottle and telling him it was water. Is that illegal? I mean, he won't press charges because we're really good friends, luckily for me, but I'm pretty sure that's illegal. So yeah, he was safe, but we just left him there. And then me and Marcus were having a chat for ages, and by the way, we hadn't spoken for ages because there was this whole big deal where I'd fallen out so badly with Harry and with Marcus because Marcus was just a dick about it. I was crying, so upset, and I'll maybe put that in another video, when I do some shorter stories, I'll put them together, because that could be a video in itself. I was so upset about that, but we were okay now, but we hadn't spoken because my feelings for Harry is sort of like depleted a little bit because of what he said then, and I was so embarrassed about it that I was angry at him, which meant that I had no reason to be speaking to Marcus really about him or about anything. So we hadn't spoken for a while. We were having a good chat, and it's like, oh, I'm really hot, should we go outside? And I was like, yeah, whatever. And then we went outside and we just kept walking for ages. We climbed over 2 fences. I don't know where we were going. Like, we just went on a little trek. We like broke into some random person's field. Like, sorry if that's your field. But we went on this little trek, and then we stopped and we were like sat on the floor in this field. And honestly, the memory of this is quite blurry because, as I said, very drunk. But basically we ended up getting off for a while, talking and getting off like intermittently, is that the right word? But yeah, that happened. And then this is after like 20 minutes, like people then started to think, like, where are Grace and Marcus? Like, where have they gone? Like, where is everyone? So people like literally looking for us, and we heard people shouting our names like, Grace, Marcus. And we were like, oh shit. So we like ran back up to this wall, but then like so the barn is like here. Okay, this is really like, what am I doing? Also, I'm missing 2 nails, I'm sorry. I'm a broke ass bitch, I can't afford to buy new ones, I'm sorry. So the barn is like up here, and we trekked like all the way down here. There's some like stable-y like paddock type things with no animals in them, just like fence kind of things. We climbed over a fence here into another little field, and then all the way through this field into another, climbed over a fence here into this another big field. So there's people up here by the first fence shouting our names, and we were like run back up, and we climbed over the first fence into the little field, like to be like, oh, we're here, like, sorry. And then they went away, so we were like, okay, like, we'll just stay here for a bit. So we're in this little field up against this wall, getting off, I'm up against this wall and we're getting off, and suddenly there's a torch on us, and my best friend Jess is screaming like, oh my god, come look at us. And we're like we've just been getting off behind this wall, like we thought we're safe, was that they'd gone away, like we're like haha, like behind this wall, and then she appeared with a torch on us, like, oh my god, and then calls Dom and Sean over, and they're both like, oh my god, like they're shook, because there was never any sort of suggestion, or like nobody ever thought we'd get together, because we were like friends, but like only through Harry, and like nobody ever thought that like Grace and Marcus, like nobody ever would have guessed that. So we were like, oh my god. But it was just funny, like, you know, we're 16, like whatever, these things happen, we laughed about it, it's fine, like we got over it, it's not a big deal. And spent the rest of the night like laughing about it and had fun. I got very drunk, and it was, you know, it was a good night. It was good fun. So my best friend Amelia, her little sister, who I was actually very good friends with at this point, because I would literally be around Amelia's house all of the time, like 3 or 4 times a week. We'd go to the gym together, and I'd go to her house beforehand, and then me, Amelia and Olivia, her little sister, would go to the gym together. So I'd see her like all the time. I'd spend like, you know, nights at their house, like literally all the time, like, so I was good friends with her as well as my best friend. So she came up to me, I think it was not at school, I think it was when we were like around my friend's house, at her house, and she had asked me like, did you sleep with that boy? And I was like, no, like, no, like, because I think I'd probably told her that we'd like gotten off, because we were friends, or like she must have heard, like it was just like, you know, people love to gossip, don't they? Like it was just one of those things. So I was like, no, because I wouldn't lie to her, and I think she knew that, because we were friends enough that I'm such an oversharer. Like, look at me on YouTube telling the story, like, such an oversharer, it's actually a problem. But I would have told her if that happened. I'm not the kind of person to hide anything, so that's why she was confused in the first place. And I was like, no, who told you that? And she was like, your brother. And I was like, okay, hold up. Like, sorry, who told you that I slept with someone that I haven't done? My own brother? Excuse me? So a bit of backstory about me and my brother. We get on, but we don't get on tremendously well. Like, we're okay now, but there was times we wouldn't speak to each other for weeks because we just we couldn't speak to each other without fighting. And we're a bit better now because we don't speak to each other hardly ever, so like, we just don't fight. Like, it's sad actually, I wish we had a better relationship, but we just don't. Like, it is just kind of shit. But, you know, it's family shit, what can you do? So for him to say that, but like there was no reason for him to be spreading rumours about me, because I hadn't been like, you know, shit talking him. Like I hadn't been adding fuel to a fire. Like there was no reason for him spreading this. I was like, okay, what the fuck? So I asked him about it and he just laughed and almost like sort of denied it, and I was like, right, okay. Like, but he told me that he genuinely thought that I had, because, okay, another very drunken story, only a few weeks after the first one, which is great and sums me up perfectly. So we have at sixth form these sixth form socials. There's like 4 or 5 of them a year. So the very first one, no, actually, it was the second one, but I didn't go to the first one. So my very first one was in December, a few weeks after the party. And I went and I got so unbelievably drunk. Like, I think that was the most drunk I've ever been in my entire life. It was awful. I had to go home at like 9:30 because I physically couldn't stand. I was throwing up everywhere. I might do a separate story about that, but it was dreadful. Like I was paralytic. Like actually paralytic. I physically couldn't walk. It was dreadful. It was the worst I've ever been in my life. Like don't recommend underage drinking in the first place, but like don't drink till you can't walk, because it's so unsafe and just like you absolutely ruin your own life. But we'll get to that. So So my parents that night were in Milton Keynes, which is like a place quite far away from where I live. So they couldn't come pick me up. So my grandparents had to come and collect me, because this girl in the year above had called my brother on my phone. I don't actually go into my phone, but bitch is a hacker, like, whatever. Not my problem, like, she saved my life, thank you. Can't actually remember your name, but thanks. So she called my brother and was like, hi, your sister is, like, paralytic drunk, you need to come and get her, like, get your parents to come pick her up, like, she's, like, insanely drunk. So they came to collect me, and I was so drunk. My granddad, who was an absolute legend, and I'm still not sure like that if they're over this, but he like had to carry me to his car because I physically couldn't walk. Like it was so embarrassing. And apparently, back to the original story, apparently in the car I'd been like blurting out stuff about Marcus, and I'd been saying that like we'd gotten off, which to all the educated people of 2017-18, no, that means like kissed, like made out, like, you know, had a cheeky make out sesh. Like it's not a big deal. My brother, who is the least in touch with social media, like he's actually so weird, didn't know what that meant, and just in his head thought, oh, they slept together. And so took that without asking me about it, or, you know, not saying anything because I'm your sister, maybe don't spread that rumour. Told everyone in his year that I slept with this boy, which I obviously haven't. And people in my year started coming up to me and asking me about it, like, did you sleep with Marcus? And I'm like, no, I did not sleep with Marcus. And it just caused such a drama, and it was so embarrassing. And then Harry was like, what? Like, Harry heard about it, and it was all such a mess. But we sorted it out, and it's alright. And, like, that was basically the most pointless story ever, because it was just a rumour based loosely on the truth that we did get off, and that was like weird and kind of no offence. But yeah, that was kind of the most pointless story ever, to be honest. But if you did enjoy it, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my YouTube channel. There's many times in this video I've said, oh my god, just a separate video about that. Make a separate video about that. So I will be doing that. So if you want to hear those stories, stick around. I'm also uploading hopefully next week, because I deleted the footage. I filmed this video about a paedophile, basically. Well, not even basically, an actual paedophile that tried to speak to me, get with me, whatever. That was weird. Crazy, actually. And I filmed that entire video, like an hour and a half footage, edited it down. I was so proud of it. I was so happy with it. And I deleted all of the footage, like, from the face of the earth. Like, cannot ever get it back. And I'm actually fuming, to be honest, but keeping my cool about it. So I'm going to refilm that hopefully probably tomorrow or the next day when I'm not busy, and hopefully get that up next week. So stick around for that video, because that is a treat. Don't miss out on that one. So subscribe to see that. Subscribe to see all my videos. Give this one a thumbs up. I hope to see you again very soon. Bye.